Alqubit, IT, as an expression of art. Alqubit, IT, as an expression of art.
Hello world again. I'm not leaving even for a moment. I'm not backing off. I'm not surrendering. Hello again. Nerdy stuff, nerdy headphones. Everything is in line. Only after 12 hours after the last live, I have prepared very early and I'm ready to go. I will fight back until I don't return with my head up inside whatever industry I choose, because I can't. Today will be not easy life. It will require a lot of energy on my side to perform, but it will be fun for the nerds and for the IT decision makers, and for the broadcasters, the quality that I have reached on my live production. I have again, I have improved it a little bit. I have added here my Ultimate. I'm introducing it. There is no green screen. Everything is live. Now it's the day. Today is what day it is today? 23rd of November, 10:08 Sunday, November 2025. This live is what I have been preparing since January 2024, that I want to present myself into the market and all my craft, all my stuff, all my business with this quality, with this image, and let's go on. This life is to present my way of doing inside the information technology. And all the approaches and methodologies I have always used to develop projects, to deliver projects, to validate projects, to design projects, to research on the project, to invest inside the project, starting from the 0, ending at the 100. IT industry is not done by concession from the vendors. IT industry is done by knowledge, by constant research and develop, as it is my fundamental value as a technology, as an expression of art. There is no vendors here. I don't care about any vendor. I will share my few documents that they will be all very old, that there is no risk to share something that is still in some kind of way impactful on the environment of some client or employee or employer or whatever it is. It is old. But my approach, basic approach, vision, the development that I have done for 38 years in technology and has provoked many times, many times, sabotages, exclusion, expulsion, because I have the methodology. It is clashing with the mediocrity, and I will share why I have been on the top of my game for 20 years without any stop, always the best of the best. And once I reached to the corporate, to regain a little bit, because the market has changed and everything, and I came with my methodology, I've been heavily distracted on my knees, basically, because I am in the different context. Project management. It is not the entire dimension of a project that you can crush only the execution. It's in a war. In war, you don't have. You never go to the execution. You go with the strategy, you go with the investment, you go with all the process, with the supplies and everything. It's not that a war in our information technology can be sustainable and has any sense to find yourself inside a project that requires a process and 2 months at least, even 4, with constant work from the morning till the evening in 2 hours. Let's begin. I hope to be able to perform the level that I want to perform. Process Inception is my way of how I developing the and I have been sustained the business for my entire professional life. It is early stage analysis, assessment, early evaluation of what you need to develop deeply at larger scale in order to be able to evaluate effectively the project. I have never sold project on kilos. Never. I have never sold a project on validated vendors architecture, because this is absolutely BS. I have done always maximum improvement and scale and optimization of the investment based on the requirements, based on the budget that they have, based on the structure that they have, and the result that they want to obtain. And I've been able for 20 years to repeat the business only because I have given a lot of value. Once you enter into the environment, inside certain client's environment, you deliver good results. You basically, I've been IT partner, never been IT contractor. You deliver the result, and with the time you optimize the entire matrix of the IT, optimizing layer by layer, slices vertically and holistically, infrastructure, storage, networking, security, all the application integration with it was Exchange, now it's Office 365, whatever might be integration with the cloud, but not let's to migration. It was absolutely ridiculous moving to the cloud. Let's move to the cloud. That I began to hate the IT, the industry. Let's move to the cloud. All the big consulting corporations had begun, let's move to the cloud, because there is a meat there to eat. A lot of consultancy, a lot of cash, a lot of spending pointlessly. My vision about the consultancy and my service offering has always been give maximum value, return actual value. You obtain a lot for what you invest in IT, not mythology and vendors architecture. And I have validated personally my architectures. I have invested, I have said other times, in 20 years I have invested 250 in my own infrastructure to validate all the VMware's, Hyper-V's, all the virtualized networking, all the stuff. Even for Infosys, where I have worked to save the project, desperate project, for McDonald's 10 years ago, that was about to lose the entire contract. I have done inside my data center, validated design, correction of the design, with my investment, with my bill of the electricity with my servers, with my storage area network, with my 10 gig networking, and I have saved that project because I have vertically and horizontally optimized it. It was designed not in best way. I have corrected all the inefficiency, and this what I can bring to the big corporations. My second name has been for entire career project saver of the desperate projects. Even since general networking, my colleagues that were full time on networking and everything I have done, and they were there for 6 months and crushing projects without any result for pharmaceutical company in France and Paris, for the commune of Bergamo. I go in there for a couple of days by my mind that works, double check, analyzing, designing on paper the things that already work. I have solved them. All my life has been that way. So the project Inception is requirements gathering, optimizing, and inside the complex enterprises, obviously it's impossible to take everything. You are getting a little slice, any employee that is inside. You don't have the vision, and you don't have the operational power, and cannot remember the name. You don't have the credentials to operate too much inside in order to super optimize. You do your best, but I constantly have given enormous big call to action to the reality and what is feasible and what can save the project that is being stalled, and that often has given me only sabotage because the group that is stagnant and doesn't have certain modus operandi, they immediately activate to expulsion. This is the reality of any industry, basically, gatekeeping. But if some IT decision maker has been with the vision that I actually bring a lot of millions of less money burned for anything, they should have kept me, even given me promotion or whatever, bonus. You want $1 million for this project? I will give you 2 millions. And I will share some of documentations that I had during the years, just to explain the concept of analysis of work breakdown structure, because what I've been for the last 5 years, what I've had even before in Vodafone, I know exactly how the corporate works. That not in negative, in realistic way. You are not able to evaluate a vendor. You don't know what to ask. You don't know how the project needs to be delivered in order to be at your own benefit. The bigger issue inside the corporate is they are separated groups that no one sees the work of the other, and everyone wants to work in their spaces. And this produces a lot of inefficiencies, closed, stagnant groups. In Infosys, I was having done the projects, but this is not for Infosys specifically. For all the corporations I've been, it is the same. The myopic vision of the group by itself. I was in delivery, security, cloud, and whatever. But even in Vodafone, the group by itself, networking or security or infrastructure or whatever, they see their interest, their immediate. There is no value co-creation. There is only gatekeeping at any point with the minimum amount of doing. We have done always that way. Or what has been done before. I will not invent the wheel, reinvent the wheel. I will not push myself on front. I will not risk anything. I will risk this is, and unfortunately, the corporate. And the politics that is built on those bases is, for example, I'm in the group of developing the project. The pre-sales have sold total BS in order that they need to obtain immediate returns to do their numbers. You are managing what has been sold to design and to improve actual design, because what has been sold is absolute BS. There is no design there. There is selling the hot air. Once you are developing the project, not optimizing, not even update Windows, not even security password, the minimum of the minimum to see what call it infrastructure. And what is the objectives? To arrive to the delivery of the project to the operational staff, to the operational group. And once I have raised, there is a fundamental issue. We can improve at least 10 times more, 10 times space, 10 times network, 10 times reduce the backup windows. We can absolutely super optimize. No, we don't touch anything. The operational group, we handle whatever is handled. This is the self-destruction fallacy of the corporate. This is the money burning machine. This is the cloud BS mythology. There is no vision. No one has the vision end to end. No one has the vision, not internal political, not technical, because the level of quality of all those documents that has been produced, and I have had to do entire data center migration. The strategy, get the old documents that has been produced years ago. And they are missing, they're not precise, they're nothing like the current state of the environment. I've been pushed more and more times, endless times. Just update it, give it. And that is why after that, those projects I've been excluded from those projects because I'm putting the red flag. This cannot be done in that way. Those projects always to infinite has been crushed after that. Haven't been finished or ended into with the cyber damage for months, with the never-ending project, with whatever it is. I have seen it, and I have seen it much before it's time to end into the crash, into the disaster. And this is my challenge, life challenge, that I have been developing my knowledge, my vision, and my business outside of the corporate with my own head, with my own mind, with my own vision about technology, about how the processes can be improved. And this has always been an intrinsic advantage, but I haven't been given the space except for time to time by visionary IT decision makers and managers to give me the space and to move and to show and to improve the project. It's rare, unfortunately. It's much more easier to get a tremendous amount of sabotage and resistance and to be put down as an animal. And let's return. My project's methodology has always been very structured. Nothing can be built in 2 hours. Nothing can be built in 4 hours. Nothing can be built in 2 weeks. If the project is complex, my fundamental way as a business principle, but as this is the extraction of the way of doing, organize and prepare. You cannot build the end result only because you are desperate manager, medium or a little bit higher, and you compress the process and want to extract the value without leaving to the nature to grow. So the objective needs to be discussed, the strategy needs to be chosen, the budget needs to be clear, and the methodology, this includes design, validation, the technology that needs to be chosen, and everything. This is the nonsense of the corporate that often that cannot even see where they are. And it's my fault. It's not my fault. First pillar, organize and prepare. You need to put the anchor on the ground, organize and prepare, and this is the immediate next step, research and develop. This is the essential parts of the project that needs to be developed. Once you have chosen the direction and the technology based on the corporate, let's talk in the context of the corporate, but could be me as IT partner that is influencing my client and the vision. We are sharing vision and we co-create the value each other. Direction based on If it is a big corporate, it is politics, it is investment, it is long-term relationships with the vendors, it is big guys often even paid software solutions at the tons and tons of money without even ask anyone. We have seen it endless times. Direction, expertise, and experience. This is not how many years you've been in this, in that. This is expertise based on the project. You see where you need to go, and you actually see the Google map with the current traffic, with the current state of the path, how the street is being interrupted here. This one, real time, current state of technology, market, products, and you build up the expertise ex new. You use your experience, you use your knowledge, but this point cannot be skipped. Never. Research and develop. Direction, expertise, and experience. This is the initial, this is where is starting the development of the high level design that can never be done. In order to be realistic and to have any sense, it can never be done. I'm doing high level, I don't know, but I will give you to the how I've been killed, the last one. The one that doesn't have any even concept of how the design is done. 7 days. From the morning till the evening. I designed this thing. And this 5 hieroglyphs, 5 icons. One router, another hieroglyph icon. This is the entire infrastructure, and this is the entire with exactly in this way. This is the inside myself, I just laugh. But this one has killed me with his this is, and it's obvious. I'm asking, where are the subnets, flows, everything? This is thing for we are inside the corporate. We are inside specific issue. Urgent, super urgent issue that is burning 200 million per day. I have no idea. This is thing that whatever Azure architect will do in 2 hours. This individual has thrown me this shit with the same request that selling inside the group that could be done in 2 hours to save his ass has killed me on the street. Pa. With his bullshit. And this is the corporate. This is from the morning till the evening, inside relationship, inside influences. But let's return to the me. Direction, expertise, experience. My experience in this context was 38 years of experience. I have 25 years of end-to-end, completely vision. I will build up, I have intention to develop and implement data center to the entire process, till the validation, putting physically the machines, and complete project, complete data center. I have done it for 25 years. And I know that it is impossible. What is absolute bullshit. And this is what is missing in corporate. The big picture, the holistic vision, the holistic approach, the coherence, end-to-end approach. It's missing. And this, once you develop this, the technological part, having done on my own project, I have never accepted that someone is throwing on me deadline. Okay, I agree with your deadline, but let me explode, analyze and explode with research and develop the entire process end to end. And once I summarize every work breakdown structure, plus the intrinsic inefficiency of the corporate, that you have to talk constantly intergroups, and no groups will give you to listen to you and give you immediate results. The inefficiency. Once you sum everything, you can give the amount to work and time that is necessary. And this is not, I'm finding my findings at the end, let's, for example, 9 months. You cannot put 8 mothers and produce a baby in 1 month. It is not feasible. There are laws of nature that cannot be crushed. And this is realistic, minimalist, efficient of my basic, fundamental value of my business. But this is operational pillar. And now we will return here, easy going. I have my laptop here. Very old project. Just the structure and the complexity. This has been a project, very long project, but you can see every sub-project, every sub-activity can be, I have done it directly, but can be group, can be you just create the entire structure, the entire actual activity of the entire project, the entire activity that can be evaluated in terms. That's why I am at super advantage for the corporate and for the medium business, because this is my way of doing. The final, you don't sell the product and after that working on the eggshell to stay inside. You're analyzing exactly every structure, every activity, what reasonably we require, doing the research and development for each and any one of them. And you develop and stack one by one. Can be multi-group, can be, but this is how project is done. There is no other way for project to be done. You cannot build the project crushing my soul and bones, asking me, give me in 2 hours. We are doing in 2 hours. We are here, Supermans. And you don't agree? You out. I cannot even explain to you why. Bullshitters. and you develop the project in every aspect. That is called work breakdown structure. This is the way of doing the waves of projects, every aspect, and you do it. I have done with all the hats that I swapping, project manager for 25 years, infrastructure security, because I have worked with dozens of clients and I have done actual project but with quality that my way of doing is to start with the production level of solution. Initially, it requires higher effort, but after that, it's returning compound avalanche of value. And this is how it can be done. And my own vision about the BS, mega BS, the last 15 years in the corporate, because the bullshitters needs to validate themselves instead of working on project. They're doing stand-ups, daily stand-ups, and doing agile BS. My own vision, and no one can change my mind. Infrastructure, networking, security can never be done with agile BS. Can never be done, because at the difference of the software, this is solid ground. It doesn't change it. It needs to be you building your house, basically. Your information technology house cannot be done with agile. Cannot be done with a bunch of bullshitters that every day are repeating the same thing for the entire duration on the project, for 4 months, 6 months, or 8 months. Where they are, without research and development on what actually needs to be done, without the structure, without the quality documentation. No one is producing documentation. No one has the mental structure. I've been asked the same bullshitter with the 2 hours low-level design, actually. Validating the operational procedure coming from the throne with the parachute. In 2 hours you need to do that. Cannot be done. And the agile BS. We are doing things in hours here. They're desperate. The corporate has been crushed and destroyed. We are doing here things in hours. And I have never been asked, never in my life. They're showing on the screen different documents. Give us immediate. You need to have the critical vision, absorbing in order to give the first analysis that you need to reach this automatic, intrinsic, intuitive vision. No, you need to now is the moment. You're doing here things in hours. Bullshitters. Absolute bullshitters. That is not how the project have to be done, needs to be done, and how they give results. You need to develop infrastructure, security, networking. These include storage, cloud, every other BSS, hybrid, public, private, whatever it is. No agile bullshits in infrastructure, networking, and security. you are lying to yourself. This is the part for the process as project management. Let me see about the networking, that in another context, in another company, I'm interacting with the networking group. And I just suggested, I would have loved to see hieroglyphs with connections. That is typical corporate BS as documentation. I would have loved to see the contextualization of the interfaces, subnets, flows, and the matrix of every device. I've been excluded and fired for this same reason. And you know who you are. You know exactly who you are. I will not mention. But the way of doing the project is that way. That way. This is one of, those are the devices. And start with absolutely coherent naming convention. Absolutely coherent subnetting. Naming convention at any layer. Networks. Interfaces. Rules. Inside Windows. NICs. How they are called. Assignment of in the context of data centers and virtualizing the environment. I am even how you are doing subnetting in order to see where you're going, and there is no actual advantage to see. But based on the data center collocation, based on the rooms, based on the rows of the racks and the servers, how they, I'm doing specific matrix of the, it can be done, absolutely can be done. Private, assigned private MAC addresses in a way that if you don't have immediate access to the documentation and you doing analysis, you can immediately pops up in your mind how it's done. It is multi-dimensional matrix of construction of the holistic vision, holistic structure, and how one board, electronic board is done. The same is done information technology. It's not diverse in any way and form. Why your main board is functioning without any issue for 20 years? Because it has structure. It has blocks of functionalities. It has electronics that are dimensioned based on capacities and based on ranges of tolerance. This is how you need to build the information technology. You have indestructible, potentially indestructible systems. And it is not that you need to invest much more, much higher, much longer time. You just need to use very consistent methodology and know what you're doing. You will reach such a level of resilience that cannot be explained without the bullshitting by the vendors that they have transformed all us in their slaves, that you need constantly to to invest into their bullshit, and they are changing now. They command everything. You cannot even say anything. They changing under. Yeah, they are taking out the rug under your feet without even asking anymore. But this is not how the systems has been built and can be built into the corporate. Let me return a little bit where I was. And this is for very coherent how it's done, how I am doing. Those are the single. This is how where it's connected. It is not present, but number of the RJ jack. You build multi-dimensional documentation that is one-to-one. This is instantiation of the Zachman of the not with the PowerPoint, the matrix, but actual realization of the Zachman, how it's built in any methodology. This is the reality. The singular, virtual or physical LACP or virtual interfaces or port channel. It is everything, it's absolutely coherent. Inside the naming convention is port channel underscore for one and VLAN. With the VLAN, we are going there. And this is the name. Coherent names of the horizontally the entire structure. How it's called the physical device, how it's called the interface, how it's called the subnet and the VLAN. And with all the virtual interfaces, how it is structured with the singular interface, with the singular VLAN, with the singular configuration of the specific device, how it's called. This way, this context was on the firewall, and everything was here. And this naming convention, this name is identical on the part of the subnet, on the part on the physical device. Everything is coherent. It is matrix. It is like XML, exploded XML file. It is multi-dimensional, but it flat way. This is how you build systems. This is how, if you the one that throw me on the street because I have asked it, I would love to see the configuration of the network devices. This is what I have intended. This is the way of doing networking. And you absolutely configure in super coherent way how the VLANs are configured, matching in which device with which way the VLANs are configured, and you're going on, and you create an environment that on paper it starts to work, and you just need to repeat the process into the reality, and it works like crazy. It's never stopped working, and it is not vulnerable, and it supports even not super efficient process of constantly patching, because it is multiple layers that cover each other. That's how the security is obtained. You don't have one operating system that is doing in giving all the stuff to Microsoft, and you can think that whatever you will reach security. Security is done in that way, holistic at any level, cellular level, DNA level, organism level, organs level. It is the same. The nature is done in the same way. The methodologies are actually how the nature is working, but it's not visible way. And this is one device. After that, another device, the same thing. It's done the same way. How I have configured here the server with the same naming convention. And inside the name, there is a space where it's pointing the name of the virtual switch. And there is a space when the aggregation of the network, how it's called exactly. And you're going here inside the VMware. Multi-dimensional development of the network. With all the how it is configured in any little design in space. There is no next, give me the bullshit in 2 hours. You are delusional. This is how needs to be done project. This is what I have meant when I have asked you in any company that I have worked. This is my value that I'm giving you, that I am offering you my experience, my knowledge, my absolute insurance that we reach certain result. But it needs to be done that way. The other device. And going on and on in every aspect, I have done that way the project. There is no device without configuration matrix. And this is what I have shared with the hieroglyphs doing by Azure BS that has no idea of technology. No one is capable of doing miracles. It is process. Physical layer layout of the ports, how they called, where they are connected. It can be done in many different things and ways, but this is how you develop project. IT project that is can go on for 12 years without issues because it is constantly aligned, constantly adjusted. No stand-ups. Stand-ups without this capability to have holistic vision and critical analysis. You are talking to yourself bullshit. You need to have those things, not daily stand-ups. Infrastructure, security, networking, whatever it is, cloud or non-cloud. Storage area network, the same thing. VVN, the firmware, because in storage area network is absolutely super important. Matrix with the singular configuration of the storage volumes and the zoning. The same way is done. There is no difference. The other. Where am I? Subnet. This is how the subnetting and assignment in a corporate needs to be done by the manual. Because what I have seen, the assignment of subnet, all around the world without criteria, without having the subnets assigned for given zone, for given data center, for given coherent assignment. I have here endless subnets that are ended up in different levels of summarization, ready to go to be deployed all over the world. This is my way of doing. And what is this? This is the virtual devices that they are headed and how they are assigned. And I love the multi-home design of security. This is the contextualization of any subnet, front-end part, back-end part of the same host, that I'm not assigning the bullshitter stand-ups IP. I'm developing indestructible system by thought, by analysis, by validation, by top-down, bottom-up, top-down, bottom-up, and at the end, I'm simplifying with a minimalist design. And it is done that way. Sorry, but I know what I'm doing and what I'm talking about. This is the way. This is the only way. DC VLAN subnet list. This is the one. DC could be cloud, could be whatever you want. The other side of the world, the same thing, the same structure, the same naming convention, the same subnet with different initial part, but the same sub part based on functionality and where they're going. This is the naming convention of the subnet and of the singular interface that is pointing. This is how it's done. This is my way. This is my methodology. This is my quality of the project. This is what I have been asking everywhere in the corporate. When I have asked for documentation, I meant this thing. Let's have some fun here. How you can discover any issue in your environment. I took a couple of months. This was it is a lab environment. In my own data center that I have developed, that was exactly the copy of the this how you need to develop your environment. The matrix of the entire all physical host naming convention, where there are the sign, the name, the domain, where they are assigned on the Active Directory site, licenses that they are using, operating system, the NICs, this. You can trust me or not. This is the naming convention of the singular NICs inside Windows that I'm using. That is absolutely the same of everything that is the rest. NIC1 underscore name, because when you recover some system, you need to have as many aggregated information, coherent information as you can. You are doing it once and it is indestructible. VLANs, MAC addresses, binding priority order, addresses. I'm inserting even the MAC addresses. You are doing it once. It's not difficult. It's not so much time consuming if you know what you're doing. And you have indestructible system, how the storage are mapped, in what SAN and how. This is how the systems are done. It could be on the cloud, it could be whatever you want, but this is the way. And this is all my life that I have done. The virtual LANs in what is called the network configuration at the different level of complexity. This is the assessment based on the protocols and the different versions, because the project is not done once. You are building on different hypotheses of how you can build, and you actually built in and validate it in order to give actual feedback. And I have done it end to end every time, and this is supposed to be lab. This is better than the production documentation, and it starts from day one. You don't have to lose your life. You don't have to crash the entire corporate. You are building system that is called system because it is system of things, integration of things. And going on and on and on. Let's have some fun with design. This is all thing. Let's ignore it. You can see everywhere my background. There are pieces even in my LinkedIn profile about that. This is how I have developed networking. You can see that it has the elements of the electronics, the same paths, the same way how you develop in electronics. There is no difference. The matrix, it's not completed here, but the matrix of the virtual interfaces of the firewalls, how they match of the entire environment, that in this case was VMware, and there is no better tool than Visio. In this case, not Miro BS. Naming convention of the firewall, the virtual infrastructure, and that is the same inside the configuration matrix on Excel. IP addresses, the name of the virtual switch with the VLAN, the name of the virtual machines, how they are configured inside VMware, or could be this is the multi-dimensional development and design of the systems, and it needs to be done in that way in order to be robust and resilient everywhere. This is my quality of work. This is my life story, my history. This is my craft. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm talking inside the corporate or directly with my clients. In the corporate, if you hire me to do the work, give me the space and don't bullshit me, but let's help each other and take the advantages of my experience and my methodology. I will save your asses. I will save your project. I will save your millions. Not to crush me with your ego that you can crush me. And because I'm in difficulties for years and don't take a taxi, to expel me from the project because I haven't taken the taxi, because I'm business owner. I don't burn money if I don't need to burn the money. You as an employee, all your life as an employee, have seen that if you have the benefit of the BS burning the project budget, it's your advantage and your value that you think you're giving to the project and to your clients. That's not how it works. It needs to be here some time. I have a really excellent design that I want to share. We need to reopen probably. It's here. This is absolute best of the best and corporate version of their systems. You are building this stuff. If you do it well, it is done that way. Otherwise, the hieroglyphs are much worse. What is my analysis that has discovered? We were 150 people. I have discovered the inefficiency of the system and multiple layers of clusters because I was following the flows. And how I have discovered the flows? This is my way of doing analysis and assessment. I'm building the documentation of the actual system. It can be published in a book. You see the quality. Multiple subnets, multiple NICs, multiple routings, multiple multi-dimensional structure inside very complex system. When you put everything in structure, all the inefficiency and errors are there in front of you. And I have discovered the essential issues, and as always I've been told, the entire groups haven't discovered, you have discovered. Yes, because my methodology is structured. This is my lab. I'm doing the lab with this quality to validate the design that I have shown before. Doing it as it was, starting only by 2 machines actual, with the capability to be expanded, with the physical servers that had been used. The entire infrastructure of network that I create on purpose based on the flows of the actual physical corporate structure. This is how it's built. Different versions. Those are inside side-to-side VPN tunnel. I'm basically recreating worldwide infrastructure that was actually inside my data center. This is how you validate system. This is how you design system. And you see the quality in every detail, in every single detail. Naming convention, singular nick naming convention, rules naming convention, subnet assignment naming convention, LAN assignment naming convention. This is how it's built. This is my design. After you have validated, you can develop the environment that is built in pods. This is typical example of pod design, minimalist super design. This is LPAR systems that based on the physical data center, based on the rack, a multi-distributed LPAR is giving you not virtualized but assigned segmented physical system. You are developing the slice of the logical system and assignment of the singular servers that can be done. This was exchanged in a way that the system will survive logically, holistically. The system will survive with given number of physical crashes, not sparse VMware here, XL, every multi-layer virtualized BS with daily stand-ups. This is how it's done the system. This is minimalist, holistic, efficient value. This holistic, absolutely production level, absolutely at any level. Those are connectors in exchange with the naming convention, with how they are assigned, how the replication of the DB is done. At any level. Singular nodes. The entire server, how it's done. It was Hitachi. I have experience. I haven't woke up one day and asking in the corporate, give me a job. And you asking me, how many years you have done BTTT? This is what I have done for 25 years. And I have, my first job was in nuclear power station. This is electronics and nuclear power station. What kind of methodology is giving you? This is the way. If you want an indestructible system, you build indestructible documentation. At any level. If you want minimalistic design, you develop pod version of the design that you can extract one or two pods and system is continuing to operate. Not single point of failure BS of the cloud. You need to think about system in systemic way. This is the other version. There had been every version of the hypothesis of the environment is end-to-end developed in order to be ready to be deployed within the process. Initial version, much more simpler. After that, which one we choose? And going on and on and on. This is the quality. This is my way of doing the design. This is my way of doing projects. And when I ask for documentation, I've been crushed so many for nothing. For absolute ridiculous thing. Asking me, involving me, for example, into a meeting, HR system, the badging, they're asking me, corporate insight are so blind. They wanted to do 10K validation security of the physical device. That it's nothing. It's a badging with a nick without even thinking about the concept of changing the default configuration. Firmware update. How the IP assigned. Firewall rules. This thing is not considered, but they need to spend to save their assets into the penetration test on device. You don't know what you're doing and where you're throwing your money. And I have done extra work, super extra work, to give all those details. I've been thrown under the bus to decide, instead of them, the responsibility to buy those systems. You're out of your mind. No one was able even to know what to ask to the vendor. And I asked it, can you give me the matrix of the VLANs and how your devices will be configured? That is supposed to be something like that. Because it is simple system for when you enter into the entrance to pass your badge. It was basically this system. The vendor didn't know what I'm asking. Do you have a template? Asking at me. I shared my document that I have invested. This document. I have invested here like 50,000 euros. I have worked on this at least 5 months. But with this, I can bulletproof corporate that is with 10,000 employees. And it will stand. And it will survive whatever it's me going through. I have given that. I haven't heard nothing. The corporate hasn't been. I haven't heard thank you very much for your knowledge and for that you sharing your experience. No. I've been thrown under the bus because I know what I'm asking. I know to say and call back the bullshit. And that's why the reaction is an immediate reaction. This is what I'm doing. I'm doing my entire lifetime. This is IT as an expression of art. This is Alqubit. This is who I am. Not the bullshitters. DNS. Why the DNS will be unstructured? Because I'm documenting it in a way that you have the consistency of how it is configured. Physical design. I'm designing by analyzing, research and develop. Very deep. Every operational guide, every administrative guide, every spec. And I'm producing this as an end result. I don't start from the hieroglyphs. It is the end result of the entire process of analysis, research, validation, test, and the end result of the design is this. This is the end result after a lot of work. It's not the hieroglyph. We can do in that way. Let's do daily stand-ups. This is exactly what will produce the system. It will never crash because it is taught end to end. What workload it is capable to sustain, for how long. Your backup window is inside this dimensioning of the system. I've been killed by the vendor because I have asked, where are your documentation about they were deploying that backup system in multinational? They have deployed inside the entire corporate to save their assets. That I am unpolite. I am asking the documentation because it is my job, my work. I am enterprise architect. I've been my entire life technology architect. And I am asking, give me the meat of the project. They don't have. They have only bullshits and selling bullshit. And it was absolutely not able to sustain what they were declaring. The speed and the throughput and everything inside the cloud BS. They killed me. I'm ending on the street because the corporate mediocrity is defending themselves without any capability to analyze basic system. Daily stand-ups. Let's daily watch to each other and saying each other our bullshit without knowing what we are talking about. How the typical meeting in corporate is starting. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I will say my BS. This is how it's done, system. Versioning. Small one, biggest one. This is from many years ago. But this is how I have done the layout physical and the same way the logical layout. I know exactly how it will be built. I can go there and connect everything. And it will work because it will be cable assignment. Exactly the numbers and the length of the cables. Exactly how they will be named. And it is done on paper first, and it will work into reality. And what I have done, I have just turned on the system and it works with even the firewall rules. I have built it end to end, my entire life systems. And this is the use case that I wanted to share today. That the methodology is essential, absolutely essential in IT, and in any industry. You cannot bullshit yourself and have stable system, efficient system, optimized for cost. Why the big vendors, big tech, bullshit you with constant changing designs, constant changing systems? Because this is maximum monetization, value extraction without knowing what you have under your feet. The rug is constantly pulled away. daily stand-ups. No agile into infrastructure, networking, and security, cloud, and everything. Okay, I hope this helps and can change your mind about how you see me inside the industry, and those who have thrown me under the bus. Not 1, not 2, not 10, not 20 in the corporate. Sooner or later, I'm bringing the maximum value, and it ends up as in politics. No one is actually doing anything, only bullshits themselves each other to save their asses. I have worked one-to-one with my clients. I have given the maximum value. This is the value co-creation. I will giving you my knowledge, my capability, my research and develop. It is based on project-based, not on years, and that time stating, this is what I have done. 1 year as a self-employed business owner is equal between 10 and 20 years into corporate. This is why. Because the result is this. This can be printed inside the book of how the system needs to be done. This is my own infrastructure built. And I hope that someone will turn back to the reasonable, to the reason, and I will be given way of survival as a professional, as a business owner or semi-employee, and I've been given not permission and not suppression, but my deserved, well, super deserved space inside this shit of industry to give my value, to offer my value, to give you what you need, not to suppress me because I am asking, where are your documents? Shame on you that you know who you are. You know exactly who I'm talking about. I hope you can see it sooner or later. That's the thing of this summer. Why I have shared 20 videos the same. Because the bully, how we do the things. This is what is designed. This is what, not the bullshit from the start. This is the very best in confront. This is light years far better than what was the other one. In 2 hours, I'm supposed to develop better than this one. You cannot do miracle. You can do your work and your excellent work inside. I have worked something like 15 hours per day for 6 months on my own infrastructure to save the assets of the corporate. I've been sabotaged even in this project because it was too far away from what was the common mediocrity. At the end, they have built it in my way, but I have seen the world. I know the world. I have the knowledge, I have the experience, I have the craft, I have the methodology to arrive, I have my own values, and I will show you yours if you give me, if you show that you deserve them. You actually implement them. I will repeat what I have shared in one of the last videos. You cannot ask me, as saying first, during socialism, I've been through my entire life inside the ideology that you in first grade, socialism is best of the best. That's why I was hating it. The same in corporate. Without receiving any possibility of development, actual development, without having possibility to actually develop any of your capabilities, because it is a world by themselves when you bullshit each other for 20, 30 years and receive salary. When I arrive with my methodology, I'm the black sheep. I'm the evil of the politics, because I'm asking actual questions about the real stuff. I'm not calling with the names that I'm calling the stuff with their real names, subnets, in the structure of the configuration matrix. This is how the systems are built. And and here with this stuff, let's return here. This is the interface of Alqubit. I'm already online. I want to share with the world that my business values, integrity, business co-creation, realistic, minimalist, efficient, technology as an expression of art is actually meaningful and actually what I have done and how I am operating. Technology as an expression of art because of the documentation that I have shown you. And the pillars, organize and prepare. You start the project with the organization of this structure that I have shown, of the project methodology I have shown. Research and develop. You develop your knowledge, your actual execution only based on project, not certification bullshit, not years of bullshit. You can stay there 30 years and have done one microscopic part of what I have done for a year. Pillar being, this I have explained it, the pillar of reaching goals. The goals you are reaching actually with indestructible, mathematically guaranteed system is results. Once you develop this system in the way I have shown, it will be the result. The objectives, when you doing the stand-ups, the difference between the objective you have to reach with the stand-ups BS every day that you are slapping yourself every day again and again for 4 months and you think you have developed the project. And this is the reality of the corporate today in our industry. I am not against anyone. I love everyone. I want to participate. I want to return into the industry, any kind of industry. I don't care. I can develop broadcast, creative, or IT, or electronics. I have done it. But reality is, as a result of those objectives in methodology will permit you to have certain result that will be actual reality end result. This is no other way. no bullshit, in 2 hours. Every Azure architect will be basically have stated, my first day of job, first meeting, they crucified me there, that I am incapable to evaluate project. I have done my entire life projects that have been online going for 12, 15 years without any issue. To save his life, his ass. 5 hieroglyphs. This is IT as an expression of art. This is my Alqubit, lovely Alqubit. This is my life, my entire life, my investment, my failures with the context of the reality of the industry, with relationship with daily inside the corporate, but my enormous success that I've had. I've burned $1 million that in corporate you cannot even make $1 million in 10, 20 years on the stuff to develop myself. And this is what process Inception. The project, I'm doing the project with specific structure. And it is not I will pay you in 90 days if I decide to. I've been stolen 500,000, not anymore. Process Inception. Everyone needs to get its part. Not 90 days, not 60 days. Everything needs to be within the reasonable times, within everyone eats the cake. Requirements are not done by itself, by themselves, and no one doing the analysis in order to have evaluation design. This is essential part of every project, and it is evaluated, it is value. This is the value. No one is building the house without the design and the architecture of the house. The same in IT. Why should it? Research, validation, design, implementation, and delivery. Documentation, methodology, essential. The timeline, how it will be reached, and this is the Alqubit process. This is my process. This is what I have to offer to the corporate and save a lot of millions, as I have done till now, actually. And now you should stop here. Thank you very much. This has been my first touch use case about the methodology of how I am operating, that how I have developed my business, my capacity to move inside the information technology. I've been for all my life. I cannot, only because the corporate decide that we assign a ridiculous amount of budget to pay me and to bullshit me how many years you have done. This is what I have done for 25 years, from the morning till the next morning, for 16 hours and more for 25 years. What development and what value I am capable to give. If I have done this end-to-end with multiple clients, multiple technologies, multiple streams, constant investment, constant on the go, constant head down and development. This is not daily stand-ups for 20 years, bullshit, waiting for the weekend and taking your vacation and not responding on the phone. I've been on the go in the business with maximum responsibility, with maximum results, and this is why I've been when I've been. And I want to return there, absolutely. I will fight with whatever, I will do 10 live streams per day if I need to do, but I will not stepping back. I'm not leaving. Thank you very much. We will have soon some other stuff. I had the energy to produce this. Isn't cool, nerdy look. DJ, pioneer DJ. Okay. Let me return a little bit here. Gorgeous image. Now is the day. I love this. I will do whenever possible live production only during the day. This is such a beautiful result that I love it. And my broadcast studio with all the cool stuff. And I will do that. I have optimized it a little bit respect from yesterday of the last live production. A little bit here and there more. And the audio now is perfect. Whoever you are, at a mini, it's not capable to produce super result. Haven't I had cache issues? No. My streaming is perfect. Haven't I had issues with burning port? Not. My levels are perfect. Even screaming, I haven't reached 0. Everything is holistic as my IT systems. And this, I have optimized it a little bit. And now you see when I have changed this boost here a little bit, I have done the sweeping X new. And this is how it needs to stay for now. It is unavoidable. On 27th, I will see the Extreme G2. I will be very excited about to see what is how it is performing and everything, and I having fun. This part that I have developed, the entire 75 gorgeous image, my entire content creation during the last a couple of years has been to reach exactly today this result, this image, this coherent artistic intent, this logo design, everything. IT as an expression of art, we continue to provide you fun every day streaming. Okay, thank you very much. Have a nice, what is today? Weekend. Have a nice weekend, the end of the weekend forward. We will see very soon again. And let's hope for the best. Don't crush me anymore inside any of the industry. Don't gatekeep me. I am grown adult. I have done my path. I reached the point when most of you want to be. Give me the possibility to survive, to return into the money, to return inside the cycle. And now you can only have the benefit of my experience, my methodology, and my value that I can bring to the table. Sincerely, actually. And this is gorgeous image. I love this, how I'm seeing it. I'm super satisfied of the artistic result of my streaming and my video production. I will do the development on the certain use cases, technological use cases, and I will do those proof of concepts and showing off that I'm not born yesterday. I've been inside this industry. I've been heavily involved inside this industry. I know what I'm talking about. Thank you very much. We will see very soon again. And have a pleasant day, life, and let's do business together, and let's be the best on the best, improving each other, sharing our experiences. Mine wasn't a mocking to versus the industry. I am the messenger. This is the wake up call about to the reality inside the industry. I can bring to the table very big, enormous value that I have brought all my life. Don't sabotage me. Use me at your advantage. Let's co-create. Let's go forward, and let's develop the business. I love money. I don't hate money. And I love what I'm doing. When I'm doing with all my passion, with my knowledge, with my methodology, with my persistence, with my resistance, with my resilience, I can bring you millions. This is true. Thank you very much. Have an excellent day forward to the next time soon. Thank you very much.
Alqubit, IT as an expression of art. Alqubit, IT as an expression of art. Alqubit, IT, as an expression of art.